Hey everyone, I hope y'all are doing alright today. Looks like it's gonna storm, sounds like it. Anyways, I had a couple thoughts that I wanted to share with y'all, and one of them was regarding what I mentioned the other day about reading an article on Amazon, or about Amazon opening up its like supply chain services. And it got me thinking, because I read something else today about them opening up to like businesses of all sizes, even if they're not selling on Amazon. And if I'm not mistaken, FedEx and UPS has had trouble in the past, and I think there's like I don't know about FedEx, but doesn't UPS have like a union for the drivers? So I guess what I'm getting at is I don't believe Amazon does have a union, and so they aren't as dependent on the drivers, if you will. If the drivers on UPS go on strike, I say, hey, we want more money. Well, guess what? That's cutting into their bottom line, and then there's packages not being delivered, etc. I don't think Amazon has that. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that or read anything, but if y'all have, please comment. I'd be interested to know if they do. Haven't looked into it. But anyways, the point is it got me thinking about Amazon, and they got the AWS, and now they got air and land, planes and automobiles or trucks. And they also have people with Amazon Flex delivering for them, so there's not any overhead. They just, I guess, give them a cut. I don't know how they work out that percentage, but either way, and now I don't know, I didn't read too much into it, but whether they're going to be delivering for some of these businesses or just renting out vehicles or warehouse space or whatnot. Point is essentially they're going to be getting a cut of other carriers or businesses' transportation, or when that freight, whether they're contracts or whatnot, over. So just adding more to their net profits. Which is good for them, as a business standpoint. But it raises the question about like sucking up market share from other companies and other carriers. It's like, at the end of the day, if I can ship something as a business person, ship something somewhere for $50, and then someone else comes along and says, hey, I'll do it for $30. Well, what would I? And if it gets there, it's the same thing. There's, they're able to cover claims as far as if they damaged it. It's like, why wouldn't I save the $20? And now you're talking about thousands of dollars, like per, depending on obviously what's shipped, like couple pallets or something like that for a couple states over, so, will we see and I think Old Dominion had some issues a couple years back, if I'm not mistaken. But will we see other carriers start to take a hit from what Amazon's going to be providing? I don't know how that's going to look or what it looks like right now. Something to think about, though. And then it's like, maybe not a monopoly, but to the size of it that it might as well be. If speaking of FedEx, there's one back there. Anyways, will they be able to offer carrier service for such a deal relative to others that they just keep getting more customers, and then can almost corner the market and raise prices just enough to where you still would shop with them, when I say shop, get the carrier service. But then UPS or FedEx or some of these other carriers still couldn't compete because they've already been taking so many hits for so long, And then what happens? Do we bail them out? I say we as if I have a decision on that, but the government with our tax dollars, do they just go out of business? And then, and then we just have to use, Amazon distribution services, basically. I mean, I don't know. But anyways, so that was kind of that thought. And I could be missing something. Maybe I'll think of it in a bit. But kind of leading to the next one is it may be a little controversial, I guess. There was someone on social media that posted about, something about the passports being revoked from like parents not paying child support. And I don't want to get in the whole like too sucked into that. I more so just to make a point of, where that to me. It's a slippery slope because, and I don't want to get into like, yeah, people should take care of their responsibilities or obligations. If you have kids, you should take care. Now, how they go about trying to enact or to try to like, whether it's out of fear, like, hey, we're going to take you to jail. Or, hey, you're going to revoke or take away your passport, or you're not going to be able to renew a passport or whatever. I don't know if that's the best way to go about that. But I do know, well, at least my opinion, and I don't think, and I'm pretty convicted on it, that that's a slippery slope here. Because it sets precedence for, if something along down their line, that if you don't do something, or like what can, let me rephrase this. If the government decides to say, hey, now, maybe not pay speeding tickets, the best example. But, hey, you didn't do this, so now we're going to take your passport away. Or, the point is it just sets precedence of now anything that they make into law. Oh, well, you already take your passport away or throw you in jail for this, so here's something else. And then, and I guess I will kind of talk about it a little bit, because it's unfortunate. I know, I don't know really any women that have to pay child support. And I looked it up, but it's like 85% of court-ordered child support is paid by men. So, 8 to 9 guys, 8 to 9 people out of 10 is guys paying the child support. And then, there's like a 50 or so percent, 60% divorce rate, and 70% of the divorces are initiated by women. So, again, this is kind of controversial. But I'll just kind of lay it out there that it's like, okay, say some guy has a good heart or whatever, or women have good heart, or, vice versa. And it's like, but the other person initiates the divorce, and then, say in this example, a woman initiates the divorce, and the guy didn't really do anything wrong. Maybe she's like, oh, I don't feel loved anymore, or for whatever reason. And then she gets child support and some of the guy's stuff. That's where I don't agree with like government being in marriage anyway. But the point is like, So now that the guy didn't have really a say in all this, now he's, stuck with this obligation. And, if the shoe was on the other foot, people could sit here and say, oh yeah, well, she should too. But that's just not the case. The numbers say so. So it's easy to say it. It's like, yeah, I wish I could have done that. I would have done that in the past if I would have. Everybody could say that, but you that's not what's going on. So it's easy to just say. So, because to me, if none of that stuff was on the playbook, right, wouldn't it incentivize both people to say, okay, hey, this is a good partner, and like, if they decided to split up, like they couldn't just start taking people's stuff, because like say if I was like, oh yeah, I want to marry someone, and like as a guy, and then oh, you know what, I want a divorce, and now I just start taking women's shit, and if every guy did that, I bet you there would probably be a different tune about those kinds of things. So it's like, let's just sit back and take a good look at this and be like, is this really fair? Like, I wouldn't want some entity telling me what I'm obligated to do. So that's kind of where the bottom line, I just don't, anyways. But I guess I'm tying both of those together, with the Amazon thing, and now there's like AI and huge databases and stuff like that, and like there's probably, there's articles and people talking about Palantir or Palantir, however, if the government in this AI has access to some of these databases on which companies are using, Amazon or whatnot, and the shipping, and are there licenses and their OSHA standings, etc., all these like regulations, are they up to code on this, or do they owe a fine? Because if not, then they can't move a truck until they pay, and so where does how is more government really gonna like help people? It seems like they typically are. It doesn't seem like it's really helping the vast majority of people. I guess what I'm saying, it seems like the more government gets involved, the more obstacles. There's a train track about just on the other side of the street, pretty much. But anyways, the point is government involvement, databases, they're keeping an eye out on everyone now. So anyways, again, I would just encourage people to stay focused. This is, I'm in my own little world here. Keep going to work. If you got a job, be appreciative of it, learn, ask questions, show up with a smile on your face, just have a good attitude about things, even though things are tough. It is sometimes discouraging sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. I'll get into a funk a little bit, and but it's very important to always keep some hope and faith that things are going to work out, because that's when it's like, whenever things are hard, it's like that little bit of call it delusion, call it imagination, but just the optimism and hope, or faith, whatever you want to call it, or like vision, that this is eventually gonna happen, as long as I keep stepping forward with my best foot forward. But anyways, just keep at it. I'm going to be looking for some, like I keep saying, online jobs or something, a little part-time job for the weekends or overnight, not overnight, but at night after my day job. I'm still kind of looking. Haven't had a whole lot of time this week. I've kind of been busy, especially some things after work came up that I needed to attend to, and just getting, it's like, I know we only got 24 hours in a day, and it's like I spend 2 of them just going to work. So I understand time is limited, and for some of us, we're burning the candle on both ends, that midnight oil or whatever people want to say, but got to keep at it, and not give up, basically. Need to cut my grass. You can see how long the grass is compared to my little dog. That's Rogue back there. Her name's Rogue. But anyways, just keep at it, and set some goals, have some plans or a roadmap to get there, and just a day at a time. That's all we can do. Anyways, I hope y'all have a good weekend. It's Friday here. Looks like it's about to rain. I feel a couple drops, and anyways, I have an event tomorrow I'm gonna go to. I'll probably post a little video or put a little clip in, a video coming soon with that. Be pretty cool. Anyways, so I'll talk to y'all later. I hope y'all have a good evening.